Action 7 News, coverage you can count on. This is Balloon Fiesta 2008.
Good morning, New Mexico, and welcome to our live coverage of the 37th Annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. There is a beautiful shot of the New Mexico sunrise, and there is a shot of Balloon Fiesta Park. You can see the inflation process has begun. Dawn Patrol went up about 15 minutes ago, and we said good morning to you now. And how about if we welcome Shelly? She's here for our first time. I know you were here for your interview last year behind the scenes.
That's
Nobody
right.
knew you were here.
See why I took the job? They said, why don't you come to Balloon Fiesta?
Exactly.
All right, I'm sold.
And this is why.
This is great.
And you're toughing it with no jacket.
I don't think it's too cold. I know. I think it's going pretty well.
National anthem is going on. We're going to stop right now. And there you have it. We are now officially underway. That was Bonnie Jo Hunt singing the national anthem, kicking off our mass ascension here on Saturday, October 4th, the first day of the Balloon Fiesta.
Now, you've covered a lot of Balloon Fiestas, and you warned me in advance, dress in layers, bring jackets, and I'm always cold, so I came prepared. And I'm happy to say that it is absolutely beautiful out here this morning. It's really not that cold at all.
It's not bad. There's a beautiful shot from Sky 7, Neil Lawson up there at Sky 7 shooting down on Balloon Fiesta Park. That is the Stars and Stripes balloon. You can see the inflation process beginning. As it normally does, more balloons begin the inflation process on the north side of the field than the south. And we have got about 2 rows, one on the west and one on the east side right now, beginning the inflation process. They should be taking off in just a matter of moments. There's a look at the process there. And all the people down on the field. And Shelly, we've been talking about this the last few days as we got ready for our coverage. This is the only event, or one of the only events in the world, where you actually can go down on the field and be a part of it. You told me last year when you were here with Sue for your interview, you were down there and rubbing elbows and shoulders with all these people taking part.
It was absolutely unlike anything I'd ever been to before, and you hear about it your entire life, and then you're actually here and you're watching the process and you're watching the inflation and you're watching all the crews and all the people it takes to get these balloons up in the air. It's amazing. And I know we talked about this week the many volunteers from around New Mexico who come. This is a big deal every year. They get to come and really be a part of this huge event.
And the most fun I think they have is when they become part of the chase crews. They tell us there are about 600 to 700 balloons, counting all the special shapes, et cetera, together. But about 200 crews come here. So basically that's about a third or a fourth, depending on which way you want to do the math, that they need chase crews. They don't have a full crew to come with them. So you can simply walk up, say, hey, I want to take part. I want to be part of the chase crew. They say, sure, come on board. And that's as simple as it is.
And I think when you're here, you quickly realize why they say it is the most photographed event in the entire world, sporting event. I mean, it's just amazing.
And so these, these are FAA certified pilots. A lot of people think, we'll just get in a balloon, we'll inflate it, we'll take off. No, you can't. You have to be an FAA certified pilot to fly these balloons.
It is a special skill, and people not only from around New Mexico, but from around the entire country, from coast to coast, and around the entire world. I was looking at the list of all the countries from around the world who come here to New Mexico for this event. When you sit and stop and think about it, it's really exciting.
That's one of the favorite things I used to do when I used to count. They gave us a total this year, but I always would count them. There are 23 countries represented in 42 states. I think 42 might be the highest it's been since I've been. This is my 7th Balloon Fiesta. So 42 states represented in 23 countries. That's very impressive. Of course, South America, Brazil, always very, very well represented. They bring a lot of the special crowd favorite special shapes balloons.
I remember reading through the list this year. There's 8 new special shapes, and I'm sure every year there's probably a lot of excitement associated with what the new shapes are going to be.
Yeah.
I remember one of my favorite ones from last year, by the way.
The kissing bees, right?
Oh, I don't remember the kissing bees. The big gigantic cow.
Arabelle, yeah.
Arabelle.
Arabelle will inflate right behind you. Matter of fact, they've already started. I don't know if we can get a shot of Arabelle, but Shelley just brought it up. Arabelle, of course, is the Creamland Dairy, the massive, massive cow. I don't know if we have a camera on it just yet, but it's already beginning the inflation process. Now, it always inflates.
Right.
Whether or not she takes off is another story.
I remember
There
that
she
from
is right
last
there.
year. The conditions, as you know more than I, have to be absolutely perfect in order
Right.
to get such a huge balloon up in the air.
Right, it's about 6 to 8 is about the top. After that, it's
Okay.
pretty much pilot's choice. There's another shot of Arabelle.
And that's Arabelle, just to give people a
That's-
perspective,
right.
where it's right in back of us, really, where we're sitting here at
and
Balloon
it
Fiesta.
is large. Last year, when she took off, she flew right over the top of us. It was like a big dark cloud.
I should have my camera right here on set, I think. Forget about the coverage. I just want to take pictures all day.
All right, one of the people out there, and those tens of thousands of people out there on the grounds at Balloon Fiesta Park, is Bob Brown. Bob, can you hear us? Good morning.
I'll tell you what, this is a great deal right here. I got a great assignment today. I know you guys are stuck up there on the set, but down here we got a front row seat. Now, I'm used to going to football games and basketball games, and when you go to a big sporting event and the jets fly over the stadium, really cool. Well, this was really cool this morning when that balloon flew right over our heads with the American flag draped on it. Sun coming over the Sandias. I mean, that was really nice. Now, like I said, you get a front row seat, and down here on the balloon field, you definitely get a front row seat. This is what's so cool about the Balloon Fiesta. I mean, you go to football games, you're stuck in your seat, you're back away from the action. Here you get to get down in it, you get to mingle with the people, you get to get right up close to the balloons. If you're a little cool, you can go right up next to one of the blowers and feel that and everything. You get warmed up like that. So got people that have been staked out. They got their seats here. Other people just walking around. I'm getting hungry, too, because I've seen the cinnamon buns, the breakfast burritos. So if I bail out here, it's only because I'm going to go get something to eat. Back to you guys.
We had a few burritos back here for you earlier, Bob. You missed your chance.
Besides seeing the food, I haven't seen much of it, but I smell it, and it smells so good.
That's when I was walking around earlier. There's another beautiful shot from Sky 7. You can see some of the balloons taken off from the north side of the field, which is where they normally do start. Dawn Patrol went up about, let's say, 30 minutes ago, and the balloons took off and they headed right to the northwest. So it appears to be they'll be taking off, heading out toward Rio Rancho, testing the box. We understand the box is pretty much operational today. It is functional. That's what we've been told. And that seemed to be coincide with the Dawn Patrol. They took off to the, like I said, mentioned, northwest toward Rio Rancho. And I can still see them way, way off in the distance.
We really couldn't have asked for a better morning. I mean, between the weather, it's really not that cold. And like you said, the conditions seem to be pretty good to get these balloons up in the air this morning. So we lucked out. See, it's the first one.
The first one. And this is usually the biggest attendance day, is day one of the Balloon Fiesta on the Saturday. And we did get lucky with the weather. There's a nice little shot of some of the inflation process going. There's Arabelle. There's a look at her.
She's taking shape now.
She's taking shape literally and figuratively.
And it sounds like with the conditions, she probably will get up in the air
She
today.
will probably
That's
get
my
up in the
goal.
air.
I want to see
That's
Arabelle launch right behind
Fly
us.
right over the top of you, right. Well, as we mentioned, this is one of the most, Shelley mentioned, the most photographed events in the world. And you can see why. I mean, I think one of the years they talked about this being the biggest kaleidoscope of colors you could ever possibly imagine. I mean, they've had 700 balloons, 800. I know back in the year 2000, their marketing campaign was 1,000 in 2000, and they had 1,000 balloons go up in the year 2000. So that was quite a sight to see. I was before my time, but I understand it was very, very beautiful.
And I feel like, pictures on TV can't even do it justice, because when you're here and you look over into the sky before the balloons even launch, all you see is these huge, amazing, amazing pieces of really machinery, in a sense, that
Right.
people are operating up into the sky. So it's really kind of cool.
Speaking of people, a lot of people on the ground right now, and those people had to battle some of the traffic to get in here.
I know you didn't this morning.
No, I didn't. I got here awful darn early.
Yeah, I got here pretty early, but Doug beat me by 10 minutes. He rubbed it in. But we do have our own Dominic Garcia out there taking a look at how traffic looks right now this morning. Dominic.
Well, hey, Shelley and Doug, here's an interesting statistic for you guys. We talked to a traffic officer just a little bit ago. He said 25,000 cars come into Balloon Fiesta on today alone, so you can imagine and see why the traffic is so backed up. We're here at the entrance, and people still have about a 20 to 30-minute wait right here at the entrance, which is just a couple hundred feet from where you guys are at right now. We talked to a couple people today who who walked here. They parked a couple miles away and walked, and they got here quicker than anyone in these cars. And another good option for people to try out maybe tomorrow or the next day is the park and ride. There's 5 stations around Albuquerque, and that way you don't have to wait in traffic like this. So definitely some good options out there, and hopefully these people can get in here soon to see what you guys are seeing, because it looks like it's pretty amazing in there right now.
And actually, Dominic, they let off the park and ride is about, I'd say, about 100 yards to my right. So, yeah, the park and ride is a very, very popular option. As you mentioned, 5 spots throughout Albuquerque. It really is a very, very good idea.
You know, crazy enough, it's almost as if the traffic, it seems, is just part of the excitement. Granted, I didn't run into too much of it, so I can easily say that. And if I had been late for this, I would have been in trouble.
Right.
But, you know, you look around, and it was, I think I left my house around 4:30 this morning, very early. And as you know, 4:30 in the morning, I don't ever see 4:30 in the morning. And you look around and you see all these people, and they're awake and they're driving here, and it's
Right.
like,
It's
wow.
like, what are they thinking?
Albuquerque is alive at 4:30 a.m.
And then you get here and you know why they do it.
Exactly.
You absolutely know why you do it. And you can see right now quite a few of the balloons taking off from the north end of the field. The inflation process pretty much has only begun. There's the I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but Lituanica balloon taking off from the south side. That is the first balloon to take off from that end. But the inflation process south of Arabelle has begun. There's about 4 or 5 balloons on that end ready to go up. Right now, you're taking a look toward the north end of the field. You see the radio towers further out to the west. But again, as usual, most of the balloons do take off from that end. As we mentioned, you know, Balloon Fiesta Park, this is one of the most prettiest balloon takeoff and landing areas in the country. No, they don't land here very often, but they take off from here. It's 72 acres. And just in case you were wondering, you can put 56 football fields
Wow, yeah.
on this ground, on these grounds. That's pretty amazing.
And if you think about that space, and you look behind us, as we've been sitting here now for the last 30 minutes or so, you really start to see the field fill up with the balloons. So
Right.
when you look behind us, it almost encases us.
Yeah,
It's so neat.
Bob mentioned going to a lot of football games. You could go to 56 football games here. There you can see a small little crew. I think
Going
there's
on up.
3, maybe there's 4 on there, but you know, it's always very exciting. You know, sometimes you can tell if somebody in that balloon is taking their first ride because they're holding on to everything. They got their one arm on the basket and one arm on.
Can you blame them? I think I would be too.
I don't really think I can blame them. Absolutely not.
You know,
but-
aside from all the balloons and all the people and all the volunteers and the people who come out to Balloon Fiesta Park, there's a lot of vendors here as well, selling lots of goods from around New Mexico.
Right there on the
and-
top of your screen, middle of your screen, look at the size of that gondola, that basket. That thing could probably carry 8 to 12 people. We just saw one a short time ago. There were maybe 3 in there, very, very small basket.
Right.
But that one is very, very big size. And I'd say 8 to 12. I could see him. I was peeking off, actually looking at the balloon. You could see him taking pictures and stuff. And there's a look down on it from Sky 7.
And if you look at the different baskets now, as we look up into the sky right now, you can see that they're different sizes.
Right.
So there's obviously one that looks pretty small. I don't know if I'd want to go up by myself.
Are you a FAA certified pilot?
Well, you know, I've been keeping that from you, but
So, yeah, you could fly the Sky 7 maybe one of these times.
one of these days, imagine the perspective he's getting. We're going to have some shots, too, in a little bit.
You know, there's a few clouds up in the sky right now, but that really doesn't deter from the color. I mean, it is still very, very beautiful. A lot of color. I mean, every possible color you can imagine. Look at that balloon right there. Yellows, greens, blues, oranges, reds. I mean, it's
It's vibrant. You could probably see it from all around Albuquerque. So this is your 5th year, your 6th year?
7th
7th year.
year.
And
So.
do you have a favorite balloon?
You know, since year 1 it was the aliens, but I haven't seen them in a while. But it's from Roswell. It's
yeah,
green. It's got the eyes. It's really, really cute. And I was out there on the field the first year with them, and their crew. They all wear the alien masks, the whole ball of wax.
Fun. They
It's
get all
great.
into it.
Well, there's a look from Sky 7. Right now, we're going to take our first commercial break. We want to thank you for joining us for our 90 minutes of live coverage. We're going to continue on until 9 o'clock, should the mass ascension continue on. But we've got you covered here, so grab another cup of coffee or hot chocolate from home and join us in just a few minutes. We'll be right back.
All right, well, this is a big moment here back at Balloon Fiesta Park right now. We talked about Arabelle earlier. We saw, I think, barely any of her about 10 minutes ago, and now it looks like she's almost fully inflated. If you look to the bottom
Would this
of
be
your
a good
screen.
morning That's
She
a bad
has-
joke.
What is? Oh, that was a bad joke. I'm used to your bad jokes, but that one was pretty bad.
Utterly ridiculous, I know.
He's on a roll, folks, in the morning. See?
We got Arabelle covered from every possible angle.
We
Look at that.
do, we do. She's actually right directly sitting behind us
And
right
if
now.
you could see the crowd, there's a look at Sky 7. There's is that the less flattering side of Arabelle?
I think so, yes.
But you could see all the people down there on the ground, and literally, if you could see it from our vantage point, everybody is looking that direction. Arabelle is.
She's filling up
almost done.
the park.
She's filling it literally and figuratively. See, the puns just keep on rolling. But when she takes off, there's going to be a loud round of applause. People are going to just start cheering, and when she takes off, it is one of the more popular, if not the most popular, special shaped balloon. And when all the big ones, like the bees, you said you didn't mention, they were the Joey bee and Lily bee, and they would take off and they would hold, and they would kiss, and then they would separate and go their separate ways. And that was always very popular. And the Darth Vader is another one that's very, very popular. But Arabelle is got to be the biggest one out here.
And when you look and you see it start from just, it was a little inflated earlier,
Flat.
and then boom, flat, and then all of a sudden, filled her up, and boom, now look
There
at
she
her.
is.
But it's true what they say. Inflating these balloons, it's a group sport. They call it a group sport. And you can see it takes dozens and dozens of people to make her look like that.
And look at them all running underneath. You can see they got they got her tethered. They're making sure that she's not going to go too far one way or too far the other until she's fully inflated and ready to take off.
Right.
They're keeping her tethered.
In the meantime, there's still lots of balloons in the sky. We have our Action 7 news pilot, Neil Lawson, who I think probably has like the best vantage point. What do you think of everybody today?
Hey, Neil, is it a little crowded up there this morning?
Well, it's beginning to be. There's probably 25 or 30 balloons up right now, not counting the Dawn Patrol, which is well off to the north. It's looking like a beautiful day here over the Balloon Fiesta Park. The balloons are going to be drifting to the north. Looks like most of the landing areas are going to be up in the Bernalillo, northern Rio Rancho area. And the winds are fairly light, so it looks like we're going to have good control. Nice, safe morning for the beginning of Balloon Fiesta 2008.
Neil, I would imagine you can't just simply go up there and fly around and enjoy the sights like we do down here on the ground. I mean, talk about the interaction you have with the towers and how you're made aware of where the balloons are from your vantage point and how you need to stay so far away from them. And I think we
Looks
just
like
lost
Neil was
Neil.
having so much fun he didn't want to bother
Yeah.
with us anymore.
He didn't want to answer
He's
my
observing,
question.
yeah.
There's a look at the inflation process right now. There's Arabelle. Okay, I couldn't tell it was Arabelle, but you can see the work that goes into that. All those people underneath. Now, see, again, talk about crowd participation. There's not most events in the world, you can't simply just walk up and take part. You can't.
Right.
I mean, she is completely surrounded.
And I remember from last year, not only are you down on the field with all the people who are
Right.
inflating these balloons, you can talk to them.
Right.
You meet people. I met a lot of people last year from all over the country and all over the world who were
Right.
talking about coming into Mexico every year, and some people make a big vacation out of it. They're here for a couple weeks.
And this is exactly why. This is the vantage point from the ground. You just saw one from Sky 7. You look up. I mean, your neck's going to be strained by the time you finish.
There is so much
viewing
to
all the
see.
balloons. And there's another thing we warn people about, because when they're driving in, they're looking up too.
Right.
Don't do that. Don't enjoy and look at all the pretty balloons as you're driving. Look at the car
It
in
might
front of
be
you, because
a dangerous time to be on the road
and a matter
right
of fact,
now.
there used to be warning signs on I-25 and a lot of the access roads. It's like,
Straight ahead.
Yeah, eyes straight ahead. There, she's taking off now. You can tell. Let's go
Oh,
back to Arabelle if we can.
Yeah, if we can take a
She's
shot.
taking off. Here's Sky 7's going to zoom over and get her.
People on the ground cheering and clapping. There's
And that's why she's
Looks like
beginning
she's
to
going
drift
up.
just slightly to the north. And the cameras are
Wow.
clicking. The crowd is applauding. The kids love this.
that
There's
went
a
up
beautiful
easily.
shot from Sky 7.
That went up very easily.
And the park and ride folks who just arrived
They're getting
at the perfect time.
perfect time. That is great.
And you can see some of the Wells Fargo balloons. Wells Fargo is one of the major sponsors here. You can see some of their center stage balloons, et cetera, that were laid out there ready to begin the inflation process next to Arabelle. But you can see she's taken out. We can tell. I don't know if you could hear much of it at home, but we can hear all the people screaming and the kids clapping and applauding. This is
a big one.
They love.
She-
Yeah.
She's taking over the sky. They could probably see this from Arizona right now.
She never quite got that far, but if
she looks that big.
she'd take pictures.
And you brought your camera.
Got the camera.
You know, last year I brought my camera. I was very excited. I was told, make sure you bring
Look
your
how
camera.
fast she goes. You can't tell from Sky 7, but we're looking almost virtually straight up at her, and she's going at a pretty good clip. Now, she's got a very small basket.
Now, there's enough fuel in there, they say, to keep a lot of the balloons up in the air for up to 2 hours.
Right.
That's quite a while. Of course, weather.
Permitting, right.
Permitting.
Wind, yeah, obviously. But, yeah. That is.
Look at her
She's
go.
got quite a smile on her
She looks
face.
pretty happy. She's
She
wide
does.
awake this morning.
She's wide awake. Well, you know. Yeah,
you know,
they're morning animals.
And you know, the other interesting part is once these balloons are up in the air and they're floating and they're going in different directions, there are crews that are following these balloons.
That's right, the chase crews, and we talked about how they like to get volunteers, of course. And you can simply walk right out onto the grounds. Some of the crews, and you virtually anywhere, just ask around. I'm sure that if they don't need anybody, they know somebody who does, and they can put you in contact with somebody who would like some volunteers for the chase crew, because you know it's a big process to lay the envelope out, get it ready, inflate it, actually enjoy the flight. But then they got to put everything back together again, like
Right.
Humpty Dumpty, and they want volunteers to do that.
It takes a lot of work. I mean, this is a year-round. I remember, again, last year being out on the field and having that perspective and talking to people. It is a year-round commitment for these
Right.
folks who are not only training how to operate the balloon and ride in the balloon and be a part. I mean, it's a lot of work. It's a dedication.
And-
It is a sport.
And speaking of being out on the field, Bob Brown's out there. Bob, you done applauding Arabelle's takeoff? Are you ready to go to work? He's watching Arabelle. I don't know.
All
if
right,
you
you
can
know,
hear me.
I couldn't hear what you guys were saying out there, but we are down here on the field. You start getting mesmerized, and I'm sure you noticed the Creamland Dairy cow going overhead. Well, we've got a young lady here who's come to Albuquerque for the Balloon Fiesta. Tell us your name and tell us where you're from.
I'm April. I'm from Seattle, Washington.
And you made the trip for the Balloon Fiesta.
Yes. Yeah, I came to visit my aunt and come here. It's one of the best things I've seen in my life. So
It is
Yeah.
pretty neat, isn't it? You got the backpack, you got your camera gear. So how many pictures do you think you're going to snap off
I
today?
don't know, a lot. As many as my memory card will hold. I got 4 gigabytes, so.
All right, so you got a favorite one you're looking for, or you've already spotted
I'm
one?
hoping. Well, I don't really have a favorite, but I'm hoping there's one that's a turtle hair. That's what I'm hoping for.
All right, I haven't seen the turtle. I've seen the cow, and we got Nemo, the fish, over there.
Yeah.
So maybe a turtle will spring up here any moment. But we're going to work our way a little closer to the balloons. It's really cool. Everybody's just meandering down here and having a great time, and April is too, I know.
Yep, I am. I'm really excited.
All right, good luck and have fun and take some great pictures, okay?
Great.
All right, we'll be back in a little while down here on the balloon field. Back to you guys.
See, even professional journalists get mesmerized by the sights and sounds and all the color.
As he looks up into the air, I don't even think he really. He just wanted to get rid of us. I think.
I think so, too.
He's out in the field. He's where all the
And
excitement
the
is.
fish right there on the bottom, very bottom of your screen
Yes.
is one of the new special shapes here. Is
Wally.
it Wally? It's not Walleye like the movie. It's Wally,
I think
right?
it's Wally.
It
Wally
looks
the
like
fish.
Nemo.
It does look like
And
Nemo.
there's a nice shot. Well, there's Wally
Oh,
right
that
there. But
looks
there was a
great.
nice shot a second ago from Sky 7 of all the balloons. Right now, there's probably close to, I'd say maybe 40 plus balloons.
And look out, if you look over your shoulder over here, all of a sudden, I mean, literally,
Right.
the balloons are just boom. They're just inflated so quickly. I mean, there's probably 12 new balloons that were not there just a few moments ago. It looks like Spider. Is that Spider-Man? I don't know. Is there a Spider? It looks like
I
the
don't know
back
if
of a
there's
Spider-Man
Spider-Man. I
head.
think it's the Flying Cathedral. I don't know what. The Flying Cathedral probably was just south of Arabelle. That's beginning the inflation process, and that's a pretty big-sized balloon as well this year.
And right now, we're just looking at more shots of even more balloons as they continue to launch into the sky this morning.
One of the things we like to see from skies, there's Darth Vader right there. It's just
Oh,
kind of
that's a
black
good one.
and menacing. But one of the things we like to enjoy watching from skies, the splash and dashes when the balloons take off over the Rio Grande, and they kind of touch down, and the basket drags a little bit, and they take right back off. It's really
Such a sight.
I guess kind of like a rite of passage, if we will. So there it is, right there. There's a beautiful shot of all the
Wow.
balloons going over the Rio Grande there. None of them look low enough right now to attempt that, but they'll do quite a few. Dozens and dozens and dozens will do that each and every year.
Now, we mentioned a few moments ago Darth Vader. That is from Belgium. Belgium. Now, if
Big
I remember
international
correctly,
flavor.
was last year, was that the new shape from last year, Darth Vader?
I don't recall.
There was so much hoopla
yeah.
I remember over it. That just could be
Yeah.
because it's so neat. But
They have quite a few new ones each and every year. There's one of the Wells Fargo. That looks like might be center stage, but that's also one of the bigger balloons. Arabelle is taken way off. People in the North
Oh,
Valley are
wow.
going to be enjoying Arabelle for a while. I don't know if she'll get as far as Rio Rancho. Be curious to see how far Arabelle flies. Truly-
how far she makes it. Well, usually some years you say she hasn't even gotten off the ground, correct? Just because of the weather
Right,
conditions.
just
And
because
she
of
is
the
one of
weather.
the rather large ones. And yeah, we just showed a picture of the wagon. That one looks
Center
almost
stage.
bigger than center stage.
I guess down
Bigger
at this
than Arabelle.
altitude, it's kind of boring for Darth Vader, isn't? I mean, I'm not a. Yeah, I'll admit it. I've never seen a Star Wars movie. Yeah, the phone calls. Yeah, call the station. Is he an idiot? He's never seen.
He's
I've never
really
seen
as
him.
weird as he looks. He's never seen Star
and
Wars.
that is, I guess there's the black
There he
helmet
is.
from
From
Sky 7.
Belgium. How neat is that to think those folks
Yeah.
came from Belgium with this balloon and they were here last year, I remember.
Right.
So
Yeah, the special shapes truly. I mean, the teardrop. I mean, that's the foundation of the balloons, the Balloon Fiesta. I mean, we've been flying now. By the way, this is the 225th anniversary of balloon flight.
Wow.
Think about that. That's a long time ago.
That
and
is a
here
long
we are.
time
Look where we've come. Oh, there's the Spam can. Now, is that just a vendor, or is that actual? No, it's the top of a trailer. Okay. By the way, he had the longest food line this morning.
And
the spam trailer.
And if you're thinking about coming down to the Balloon Fiesta and you're looking for us over at the KOAT area, we're actually not too far from the Spam area.
We're
That's
not
how
too
I
far
located
from
us.
Spam. Yeah,
I
where
saw
are you?
Spam.
We're just north of Spam.
Just north of Spam.
And there's this beautiful shot from Sky 7 of the inflation
Wow.
process, and that's on the north side. And Wally.
That's Wally, which is he was here last year.
No, this isn't. Wally's new.
Oh, was he new?
Wally's new. Wally's from Wausau. I'm not from Wisconsin.
He's from Wisconsin.
You have a little Wisconsin twang there, don't you?
Oh, did I have one there?
Wisconsin?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I studied up on my balloons. We're gonna leave you for just a moment, take a very quick break, and we'll be
right
back
back.
in just a minute.
Action 7 News, coverage you can count on. This is Balloon Fiesta 2008.
And welcome back this morning. We are having a blast. I mean, who would think it's early in the morning? I feel like it's 4 in the afternoon. There's so much energy here. I mean,
There's
as
a
soon
whole
as you
new
get
life
here.
in the mornings. Whole new life in the mornings.
It is, but this is a good way to start out the morning. I think I could be a bright-eyed person if this is how we started our mornings, with big balloons in the sky. I mean, how can you be sleepy,
I know you better than most of the folks at home, and that's not going to fly. The balloons will fly. That's not going to fly.
No
but
pun intended.
Right now, smell vision would be very good because you can smell the food, can't you?
I'm starving. If you hear that noise, it's not the inflation of the balloons,
It's
it's,
the
my stomach growling. Yes.
Okay, there's Darth Vader one more time, and Shelly talked about from Belgium. I've got the little card here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can, Richard, can you get that? It doesn't really matter. We'd rather see the balloon. But anyway.
So you got the card, you met the person
I got the card from the crew.
Oh, neat.
80, when Darth is fully inflated, of course, Belgium, they do it in meters, 26 meters, 86 feet, basket included. It's 69 feet wide, 86 feet tall, as I mentioned. And it weighs 640 pounds.
Wow.
640 pounds. And the pilot, he gave me that card this morning.
And this is a popular one. I remember when I was here last year, I happened to be right near where they were inflating it. And, I mean, all the balloons are exciting and beautiful, but people were gathering around and cheering the more they inflated this particular balloon.
And the pilot is Benoit Michael Lambert, or Lambert maybe, since it's Belgian.
From Belgium.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really exciting. I've learned a lot this last week. I
And I think Wally's latched on. Oh, no. That was
there's
just
one.
an angle shot.
And that's right. And then this balloon here
Center
is
stage.
quite large.
There's Wally from this. Wally, look at Wally's.
Nemo.
Yeah, we should call it Nemo, even though it's Wally. Yeah, taken after Darth Vader there. And there's Arabelle.
And there's Arabelle.
Still looking up. And Arabelle is I can't even see Arabelle. She's so far away. I imagine
doing
she's
well.
looking to the sunrise.
She's quite large. It doesn't look like she's moving fast, but I guess that's not
They
a surprise.
do, but we always think that none of them are flying over our head right now because they're taking off to the north. There's one
There
right
is
there.
one.
It doesn't look like they're moving very fast until you look straight overhead, and if one happens to be going over you, top of you, they are moving pretty good.
And as we talked about earlier, once these balloons are up, it takes more people and more crews that follow these balloons to their destination.
The chase crews.
It could take a few hours.
Imagine if you're watching at home with some kids, their eyes are all lit up. If you could just come out here and see the kids' faces out here,
Right?
I mean, kids normally their eyes aren't this big in the morning.
Neither are mine. Now, this is the Flying Cathedral right now we're looking at as they inflate the Flying Cathedral.
Take a shot at that pilot name.
Wow. Well, let's just say it's from let's just say it's from Switzerland. We'll leave it at that.
Not going to take a shot at the pilot name?
That is a beautiful one. Now, I do not remember that from last
That is
year.
a very sizable balloon, and that one is inflating and about ready to take off, we hope, just south of Arabelle.
And, it seems like the balloons really have not had trouble, it looks like.
Not yet, because there's virtually no wind. I mean, I'm looking at some of the banners. They're basically they're flat down. They're not moving at all. There's the Stars and Stripes and the Zia flag, and there's very little waving going on. So this is ideal, beautiful flying weather.
Now, in the 7 years you've covered this, would you say this is pretty much up there with one of the best conditions?
Weather-wise, yes. This
Yeah.
is one of the best days, absolutely. And we've been lucky. It seems to me like the first day is usually one of the best, if not the best days for flying conditions. And it's also when the bigger crowds show up, most of the pilots show up. So it's really, really a wonderful
So weather-wise, just perfect. Now, what do you mean by that weather-wise? You mean co-anchor-wise, not the greatest, but weather-wise, we're good.
With that, we'll go to they're telling us toss to music so you at home can enjoy the music and some of the balloons. And we will be back with our live coverage after you enjoy this. Thanks for watching. We talked a bit about the splash and dash, and you saw just a moment of that before we came back on here live audio-wise. Sky 7 had a shot of a balloon over the Rio Grande doing the splash and dash, and as I mentioned earlier, dozens and dozens of pilots will take advantage of that. There it is right there. Not quite touching down yet, but you'll see quite a few of them doing that, and they drag the gondola or basket, whatever you prefer. Neil, can you hear us? Neil can't hear us just yet, but he's providing some of the beautiful video that we're getting live from Sky 7 up there as it just begins to fade out.
And now that it's a little past 7:30 this morning, the sun, it's just it's so bright in the sky, and it's reflecting on a lot of these balloons, which making it even more beautiful to look at. Just to give people at home an idea of some more things to look forward to today, there are 8 new special shapes this year, including the ladybug, Farmer Pig. I know you've been waiting for that one, Doug. Now, I don't think we've seen any of these yet launch. So Farmer Pig, Ladybug, Wally the Clown is new, the clownfish, and we saw that earlier.
A lot of kids call that one Nemo.
Nemo. Oh, no, just you. You're one of the kids. Yellow Jacket Wasp.
Haven't seen that one. Okay.
Haven't seen that one either. Airplane Happy. And the Flying Cathedral, which we showed you a little earlier, and that's being inflated as we speak. So we'll probably be able to show you that launch in just a few moments. Actually, we're looking right now at the Flying Cathedral.
And one of the things I learned, I think it was 2 or 3 years back, the Wonder Bread. You know the Wonder Bread bag? You see in the bag, it's got all the little different colors. That was designed by somebody who was looking at hot air balloons.
Oh,
those
wow.
circles and the dot. I don't know if I haven't seen a bag in quite a while, but they on the side they have all the little colors,
Yeah,
red,
that makes
red
sense.
yellow, blue, green.
Sure.
That was inspired by somebody at that company who was watching hot air balloons, and that's became part of their packaging
A little
for years
bit of
and years.
history.
Well, I have a lot of that.
Yeah, we weren't going to go there. We're going to be nice today, this Saturday morning. Actually, in terms of a little history, 1972 was the first organized Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta at Coronado Shopping
And
Center.
I quizzed you earlier, and you knew it was at a mall.
I nailed it. No, so you give me no credit. He asked, where was the first location, and I said, who doesn't know that? Coronado Mall.
Right.
And then,
it was a birthday party, which you missed that one, and there were 13 balloons, which you missed that one. But the mall you nailed. They were center stage, and beginning almost wrapping up the inflation process. Basically, she's about 100 yards behind us. I say she. All balloons aren't all ships and crafts. She's center stage is about
all she, yes.
Yeah.
It's all women. Now, 1996, by the way, was the first year that it was here at Balloon Fiesta Park.
It was.
Uh-huh.
And it wasn't always, they had a little, I don't know if they started with any grass at all, but the field is now all grass, and that was done maybe 4, 5, 6 years ago, which was really important. And the pilots loved it because a lot of times when they would lay out the envelopes or something, there's the splash and dash. I'm going to go ahead and stop it. There's some of the splash and dash. You see 2 balloons doing that, the Remax and one of the others. And they go down and they just touch or kiss, if you will, the top of the water.
Isn't that nice?
Maybe they'll lean their hand over, maybe grab some of the water, just run their hand across, and they take right back off.
Wow, speaking of pilots, let's check in and see if Action 7 News pilot Neil Lawson is available. He's got quite the perspective this morning. Neil, can you hear us?
Shelley, how you doing?
Great, how are you? You must be having a blast up there in the sky.
Oh, it just gets more fun every year. We did observe the first official splash and dash of the 2008 Balloon Fiesta about 10 minutes ago. More of them are trying it now, but there's a little bit more wind to the north of the field than there is at Balloon Fiesta Park itself. And so they're moving kind of fast across the water. A lot of the pilots are probably not going to attempt to do the splash and dash for safety reasons. But the ones who are doing it seem to be having a whole lot of fun.
Neil, you've covered the Balloon Fiesta many years. Do you see anything different this year that you've noticed? I guess we lost Neil. No problem. We'll check back in with him.
Remind me to ask him next time. And he's seen obviously from the ground and from the sky. Probably going to be a dumb question, but what is better, looking down at all the balloons or looking up at all the balloons? I don't know. I'd be curious to see his answer to that.
I'm sure in different ways. It gives it just a different perspective in each way because you want to watch from the ground as it launches. But then once it's in the air, I would imagine his perspective is just awesome.
No, he won't get the sore neck like everybody else from up there, though. Because, literally the first few years I did this, I would just be sitting back and I'd be
That's what I'm doing right now.
Right.
By Monday, you're going to wonder why when I'm sitting and I look a little crooked at the desk, that's why.
Little cricket neck.
Let's see if we can get another shot, if we can, of the Flying Cathedral. We're keeping a close eye on that one. Oh, maybe not.
Yeah, the center stage balloon, the Darth Vader. But I don't know. Darth has been fully inflated for a little while. There's a
there goes
there's
Darth.
a beautiful shot from Sky 7. But there's the Flying Cathedral there, and that one, it's going to take obviously quite a bit to inflate again. That's from Switzerland, and Darth Vader's from Belgium. Darth has been inflated for a while, and Darth has been known in the past to inflate and not fly.
Okay.
I'm not saying that's going to happen this time.
Okay, it looks like he's ready to go.
He looks like he's ready to go. Maybe he needs a little bit more space. I don't know. Maybe he needs clearance from one of those. I need some help from Star Wars person, because I'm not
Can't really help you there. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to keep a close eye on this particular balloon, and we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, hopefully he'll be up in the sky.
Good morning and welcome back to our live coverage of the 37th Annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. I am joined by first-timer Shelly Rabanda, who is now joined by another first-timer, Mr. Michael Josephson, from the Josephson Institute of Ethics and Character Counts. Good morning and thanks for being here.
Oh, it's great to be here. You know, there's two ways to ascend. One is by character and one is by hot air.
Well said. Now, this is great because when you sat down, I said, yeah, how many years have you been coming? You said this was your first year.
This is my first time. We're based in Los Angeles. Character Counts is a national program.
Okay, great.
As well, but we have 7 million kids. But it's huge in Albuquerque in New Mexico. Senator Domenici and Mayor Martin Chavez really helped start it here in Albuquerque almost 14 years ago.
You're going to be part of the gala tonight, and the kids from Duranos going to be part of that as well?
Yes.
Talk about that, if you would, the gala and the kids.
Well, there's two things. One, that's to celebrate Pete Domenici's kind of retirement, but the kids, it's what it's all about, to give them character, and they're a group that's been practicing and doing some various kinds of programs, and the idea is they're going to sing for and character, and they write things, they write essays. It's really a wonderful program.
Now, the Character Count kids are here today at Balloon Fiesta Park, correct?
Yes, they're all over, though. I don't know exactly where they are. But
I think they're probably having a little bit of fun.
Yeah, they're high, too.
Give our viewers at home a little bit more of an idea. You're the founder of Character Counts. You said it's based out in California. Give them an idea of exactly what you do.
It's a national program based on common core values called the 6 Pillars of Character: trustworthiness, respect, responsibility, fairness, caring, and citizenship. And the idea is to get schools K through 12 involved more proactively in trying to encourage these attributes. Everything from giving awards to simply integrating it into the coursework, depending on how old the kids are. And it's grown from when we first started in 1992, from 0 till now over 7 million kids. So it's a big program.
Talk about the growth here in Albuquerque and in New Mexico for Character Counts.
Well, I would say it's probably in 60 to 70% of the schools in New Mexico in general, and all of APS is part of Character Counts. And the idea is that each teacher gets to do it their own way. It's not a curriculum. It's what we call a framework, that they get to decide how they want to teach these 6 core values. But it's seemingly made a big difference, and kids are excited about it, and it's a way of paying attention to, look what's going on in the world now. I mean, people aren't lacking IQ points, they're lacking a moral compass. And Character Counts is about calibrating their moral compass.
And giving these kids more direction and understanding of the world and how to be a better part of it.
And how to make choices and decisions and things. We're starting new websites now to help kids make better decisions, same thing.
If people are interested in finding out more information about it, or they're wondering if their child's school is involved with it, what can they do?
CharacterCounts.org.
Okay.
Major website, CharacterCounts.org. You can direct them anywhere in New Mexico or any other part of the country.
And you talked about compasses and directions. Is there an official Character Counts balloon here? Because a
There
lot of
isn't.
companies
We
do
gotta have
that.
one. I
Maybe
know.
next year.
We're missing an opportunity, but it can't be Darth Vader. That would be the wrong image. Maybe Luke Skywalker.
That's perfect timing because Darth just took off.
There he goes. From Belgium. We've been following this all morning.
Wally and Darth taking off together.
They're friends. Now, you said that this year is your first year, and last year was my first year, and I remember how I felt when I walked onto the field. So what's going through your mind
It's
right
awesome.
now?
It's absolutely awesome.
You feel like one of the kids that you mentor, right?
It does, but see, I see everything as a metaphor, and I see this idea of all of these things rising is really what we're trying to do with Character Counts.
That's
and you begin to
fantastic.
see this visualization of what happens when you ascend and when you really open your imagination. And all kidding aside, there's a hole in the moral ozone, and it's getting bigger. And we need something like a concentrated program like Character Counts, and Senator Domenici and Mayor Chavez have been really important in making this work.
Well, Mr. Josephson, thank you very much for coming to Albuquerque, coming to Mexico, and the Balloon Fiesta, and for honoring Senator Pete Domenici.
What a
Thank you.
blessing this is for me, and thank you so much.
And most importantly, what you do for the kids. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Appreciate
Thank
your
you.
time.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Enjoy your time here.
Thanks.
Well, there you go. There's a look up at Darth, the Belgium Special Shapes balloon.
High in the sky. You know, he really stands out because it's just one solid color up there, where a lot of these balloons are multicolored.
Yeah, yellows, blues,
yes.
green. There's this big
Just
black
black.
balloon
Yeah.
up there. It's like, what is that?
But against the sun, it looks kind of cool.
You look at all the color. Look at there's
Yes.
this black blob in the middle, and all the color. And there's Wally in the very bottom left, just leaving the bottom left of at least the screen that I'm looking at. There she is. And you look at all those people down there, all those balloons. And Bob Brown a little earlier talked about being a kid down there. Well, we're going to go back to the kid, Bob Brown, who's down there on the field. Which balloon you looking up at now, Bob?
All right, I know why they tell you to dress in layers now, because now the sun's really out, starting to warm up down here. And we're in a good spot because all the balloons are drifting north from here, and a lot of the balloons are inflating just south of us. So we're in for a real treat here now. We've got us another out-of-towner that's here for the big balloon fiesta. Tell us your name and tell us where you came from.
I'm Rodney Maxon from Miami, Florida.
All right, so you got buddies, friends in Tucson.
Yes, we
So it's
do.
not quite the meeting and the halfway point, but hey, Albuquerque's a good spot to come, especially on this week, huh?
What a beautiful day and what a beautiful event. This community is awesome.
I'm sure they told you about it, but what you heard and then you're actually standing here, is it what you imagined?
It's beyond expectations. I've never seen more than 1 or 2 balloons at a time. To see this in this beautiful field, it's incredible. And we were here at 6 o'clock this morning and saw the lighting of them. It was beautiful.
And I know Darth Vader just took off right behind us here. Have you got a favorite so far that you've spotted?
Well, you know, that Darth Vader is just an awesome look, that black, but there's Wells Fargo and just a lot of odd-looking balloons. It's really pretty.
All right, is this your wife here?
This is my wife taking my picture right
come
here.
on over here, because I see she's got the camera phone going on. What's up with that? You got all these balloons, you got the camera phone going. Huh?
Trying to take it all in, aren't you?
Well, you didn't bring a real camera, you got the phone going?
It dies on me.
What's your name?
Ivania.
And tell us what your thoughts are now that you're standing here and you actually see the balloons.
This is beautiful. I want to come back every day until I die.
All right,
I mean,
listen.
not every day, every year.
Okay, listen, have a great time. And all right, there's a lot to be seen out here. There's a whole new wave of balloons getting ready to take off, and I'm going to take this jacket off. Back to you guys.
I think that woman was very excited. Did you hear what she said?
Yes, I did. There's the cathedral, but it's having a little trouble with that one little spire there. It's about ready. You can see it's just kind of laying over to the side. That's not supposed to be the case. It's supposed to be standing straight up.
Yeah.
But that is the Special Shapes Flying Cathedral out of Switzerland.
Oh, boy,
There's
what a beautiful,
from
beautiful
shot from
angle.
above. There's the
There
trouble
you go.
spot right there. You know, they have little valves and little buffers, if you will, that helps them inflate the special shaped aspect of the balloon. And apparently they're having a little trouble with that one right there. But you can see it's fully inflated except for that one tower.
You know, the folks who brought the Flying Cathedral here are from Switzerland. Oh,
That's
there
right.
it
There
goes.
it
You can
goes.
almost watch as it's there it goes. There it goes.
The last little bit. And
This
maybe
is
after
great.
this, it'll be taking off. And one of the special shapes, as we watched the tower finish the inflation process, we saw it was bumpy during one of our shots right before we came back. And that's a real popular one. That is from Littleton, Colorado, not too far north from here.
Bumpy.
But that was bumpy. And bumpy kind of looks like Humpty Dumpty.
Oh, and look it, we're almost there. This is why live TV is so great. We are going to see the Flying Cathedral get off the ground. And probably just a moment from now. So just think about coming all the way from Switzerland
Right.
to Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Rely on the weather, and the Mother Nature has cooperated.
And the sun is shining, and it really couldn't be better.
There's the beer stein.
Oh, you like that
Interesting
one.
special shapes balloon, the beer stein.
That's a
yeah.
pretty big beer.
That's a very big beer.
And the beer has been here years past.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the beer's a
Warsteiner,
popular one.
they have their own little beer as well. There's a lot of beer steins, a lot of beer cans that they're very, very popular out here. I think that was the backside of Squawk we just saw at the very top of your screen. It looks like green, all green from the backside, but I think that's a parrot named Squawk from Los Ranchos, so right here from New Mexico.
You know, some of the people come and they get all set and they inflate the balloons and it still looks great, but then they never get off the ground in years past because of the weather. But
there's crew problems. Sometimes there's a problem with the balloon that you can't tell. They know, but it's inflated, and the people love to see that, but it doesn't quite take off. And a lot of times it's the case with the special shapes, but even with the teardrop, the standard teardrop shaped balloon, that is the case as well.
we have 8 new special shapes this year. Now, are we looking at Spider-Man? Spider-Man. Now, that's great. I'm an old Spider-Man fan from back in the day when I was younger. That's not a new special shape, but that is a very special shape.
So Spider-Man's to take on Darth Vader?
That would be kind of neat. Although
a
Darth
duel in
Vader's,
the sky.
It's very far away, I think, though, from the Spider-Man one. See, now I think that's a picture moment.
Yeah, well, my money's on Sky 7 and Neil Lawson if there's a duel in the sky. But we're going to take a little bit of a break right now. We want you to please come back and enjoy our live coverage of the 37th Annual Albuquerque Balloon Fiesta. As you see right now, a beautiful shot of all those balloons from Sky 7. We'll be right back.
This is Balloon Fiesta 2008.
And welcome back, everybody. We are entering into a really neat time here out in the field here at Balloon Fiesta Park. There are a bunch of special shapes right now that are almost inflated and ready to launch. It's really exciting to watch. As we've said all morning, they start out flat.
That was a beautiful shot right there. Well, there's another beautiful shot right there. The little girl taking on the balloons with on top, giving a peace sign to Dad there. Dad's got her up on the shoulder. I love that shot that you can see. There's probably, what, 35 balloons or more in that one shot right there. And that's what you see no matter what vantage point you're at out here at Balloon Fiesta Park right now with so many balloons going up. Balloons as far as the eye can see.
It is just beautiful.
The cameras and the video cameras are all just clicking and shooting away.
Everybody's got their cameras in hand. It's hard to come here and not have your camera. And as we mentioned earlier, it is the most photographed event in the world.
So it is. And there's one of the reasons why. The Flying Cathedral. There's Arabelle has come down.
One of our favorites.
A cow pasture almost. What is she? What is Arabelle?
You know what? Arabelle launched, I think, shortly after we got on the air at 7.
She did.
She's been up in the air.
She's been flying for about an hour.
About an hour. And we mentioned earlier that a lot of these balloons have enough fuel to keep them in the air for up to 2 hours. Of course, it depends on the weather and all that good stuff. But we have great weather today, so maybe that's playing a part as well. But she looks pretty happy up there.
I won't make any jokes about the cows and methane gas, and she didn't have enough to work for 2 hours.
I'll tell you, the viewers who are just joining us, be happy you weren't with us earlier. The jokes were bad.
When the right center of your screen, you see that kind of unique shaped, that might be the Winds of Wind. It's a special shapes balloon. It's kind of like a triangle.
Okay.
Well, we just left a shot there, but zooming in on a balloon to taking off, that's number 260. We don't have the numerical listing, but that's one of the balloons that was just taken off. Didn't look like it took off for very long, but that's part of the I mean, you could see so many people around that basket, as you talked about earlier when you came last year, and now that you see out there on the field now. Look at the crowd. They're all right there. They're standing next to these balloons. They're standing next to these baskets and these flight crews.
You can literally go right up and rub elbows with the people who are inflating these balloons, and they're so friendly, and they want to educate you and talk to you about their particular balloon and where they're from, and it's a learning experience to be out on that field. It's really neat. You walk away with so many really cool stories.
And you can tell right now from some of the ripples in the water right there, some of the splash and dashes. Looks like 3 or 4 balloons just tried it right there. And you can see how serene and calm it is down there.
I know you were describing this earlier, and what a neat thing. You said it just will slightly touch and then come back up.
The one in the center, you can tell.
Now back here at Balloon Fiesta Park, we're looking at another balloon that looks like they're fueling up
the
and ready to
going.
launch. Yeah, ready to take off. And there's also some we've been following for you this morning, the Flying Cathedral from Switzerland and the center stage directly behind us, which looks like it's pretty much inflated. You know that's actually from Albuquerque, New Mexico.
All the way.
All the way from Albuquerque, New Mexico to Balloon Fiesta Park.
The cathedral's starting to tilt a little bit. The Leaning Tower of Cathedral.
And it was having a little problem earlier. It looks like it just can't quite inflate.
Wrong way here. Let's do this.
There you go. Eventually, hopefully, it'll get off the ground.
Yeah, I'll put my. Yeah, it's not going to work.
Yeah, no. Poor people at home wondering what you're trying to do. Actually, it looked like it was pretty inflated, and now it is drooping again. And it does. It takes a lot of work, and they have to be perfectly inflated to get off the ground.
And the conditions have to be ideal, and they have to be more ideal, if that even makes any sense, for a special shapes balloon, because the flying conditions are a little bit more unique for them. They have to be a little bit more careful. The standard teardrop, as you see on your screen right now, there's 5 or 6 of them right there. The flying conditions for those are not as stringent. That's a beautiful shot from Sky 7.
That is a great shot. And, you know, when you're looking at all these beautiful balloons here at Balloon Fiesta Park, not only are we seeing beautiful things, but we're smelling beautiful things. There are almost 200 vendors here selling really great things from around New Mexico and food, and people just
there you
so
go.
much to enjoy.
We need
here.
a little Darth Vader music, that ominous music that plays.
He's back. Actually, he's been up in the air now for about probably 30 minutes or so. We saw him inflate earlier. Always a big hit here.
Very big with the kids. I mean, one of the things you talked about, how the pilots interact and the crews interact, when they see kids and they see how their kids' eyes light up, they really gravitate toward the kids, because the kids are, I mean, everybody's into it, but the kids more so, I think, than even the adults, and the adults love it. But they really interact. As you mentioned, they try to educate, they help, they talk to them, and the kids just love that.
Oh, absolutely. And just the fact that they can stand there and watch it happen, and then you watch it light up, and then boom, it's in the sky. And again, you're not watching from far away.
Right.
It's not like they rope you off if you're here. They don't rope off the crowds.
No.
They don't keep you a certain distance away from these balloons. You are right there. It is hands-on all the way.
And here we are, what, about 11, 12 weeks from Christmas? How many kids do you think go sit on Santa's lap and say, Santa, I want a hot air balloon
I want
for
a hot,
Christmas?
Isn't that one of the kids' dreams? A hot air balloon ride. We're talking to some people here earlier who had their children signed up for a hot air balloon ride. So imagine that's just one of those moments you'll never forget in your entire life. I think it beats Disney World.
Yeah, there's a beautiful look at all the standard teardrop-shaped balloons, and there's one taking off right there. And then, of course, there's our KOA T7 balloon on the bottom right. That's always there. That balloon never takes off.
That's quite a neat balloon.
Oh, there's a nice
I hear
shot
it's
right there.
easy to operate there.
Yeah, that's a beautiful shot. I mean,
That
you
is
talk
a
about
great
all the
shot.
colors you see from looking up, but when you look down, sure, the balloons, but all the colors of just Albuquerque and the Rio Grande, I mean, you don't get to see those a lot.
Yeah.
And Neil's providing us a beautiful shot of that. And you can see them, how they kind of hide within all the green around the river, and it's just beautiful.
And the sunlight, if we look off into the distance, it is absolutely amazing the way the sun is reflecting off many of these balloons right now. It is truly mesmerizing.
That's what I talk about, the kaleidoscope of colors. It really, as you mentioned, when the sun comes up over the Sandias and shoots right at those balloons. I mean, you talk about the vibrant colors, how bright they are.
That looks like another special shape we're looking at right there. Oh, also from Albuquerque, New Mexico. 1 down, 8 to go. That's what it's called. Who would have thought that? It's called 1 down, 8
It's
to
almost like
go.
you fit that on a license plate. Ronald Haynes is the pilot.
From Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Actually, we've got two names. It could be Mike Garcia or Ronald Haynes. I'm not sure which one it is, but both names are provided. But yeah, that's a.
And
There
nice
she is.
There
she is. 1 down, 8 to go.
From right here in Albuquerque,
And
New Mexico.
I just figured it out.
Okay, share it.
9 lives to cat.
Very good. Not bad. See, you know what? I would have gotten that. At
I'm
4.
more of a morning person.
Yeah, at 4 in the afternoon, I would have nailed that, but it's a little early for me still.
Is there your Spidey right there?
That's my Spider-Man, which, like you pointed out earlier, that's actually not a special shape because it's the teardrop.
The standard.
right?
But, Spidey's got that mask, and,
It's an awesome one. That's a fun one to watch.
So we got Darth. We've got
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Where's Batman? Where's...
We have 1 down, 8 to go.
We've got Bumpy. We've got Smoke. I haven't seen Smokey Bear yet.
You know what? You know a neat one? I think I remember from last year, Felix the cat.
Felix the cat.
I have
yeah.
not seen Felix. There's also a pumpkin head from Park City, Utah, but I haven't seen that one. That's a neat one. It's a big pumpkin. Now behind us, we were talking earlier to you, we have been keeping track of Center Stage, that balloon also from folks in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and the Flying Cathedral from Switzerland. It was having some problems, but now it looks like it's almost inflated once again.
Yeah, we got one of the real favorite special shapes just took off. I'm trying to find the information on it as I'm flipping through.
Oh, this one, the
That's Humpty Dumpty. I don't know if there's Center Stage there, but Humpty Dumpty
I wonder if we get a shot
is
of
about
Humpty Dumpty.
200 yards upright of Center Stage. But Center Stage may be taking off, but Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. Of course, we don't want that to happen here today, but Humpty Dumpty has just taken off.
Humpty Dumpty. There's
There it
Humpty
is.
Dumpty.
The backside.
The backside.
That must be the...
Yeah, that was a good catch on your part. Yeah, because we can't see the... Humpty Dumpty is rather cute. We have a picture of what Humpty Dumpty looks like from the front. Much more attractive.
Louisville, Kentucky. Pilot is Richard Lawhorn from Louisville, and that's Humpty Dumpty.
Yeah, that's a really cute one. His little bow tie. Too bad we can't see it from the front, but he is quite charming. Now the ladybug is another one. Is that the ladybug? Is that the ladybug?
That's Ladybug.
That's awesome. That's from Highlands Ranch, Colorado. The ladybug, which is, I believe, one of the 8 new shapes this year.
Yeah, Highlands Park. I'm not quite sure where. Yeah,
Okay.
Ladybug is.
All right, we're going to send you on your way.
As Center Stage takes off, we're going to let you listen to some music and enjoy some of these balloons.
Oh, perfect.
We'll be right back.
And Shelley Rabando on Action 7 News. Coverage you can count on.
Good morning, New Mexico, and welcome back. And on the top left of your screen, there you see it. The Flying Cathedral is actually doing just that, flying.
Exactly. We've been tracking it all morning, really, and finally it's inflated up in the sky. And then over just below the Flying Cathedral in the distance there, you see the Strawberry, and this one is in from Germany. So the folks that brought that balloon here to New Mexico came all the way from Germany to be here.
A lot of the special shapes come from some of the international balloons. And our balloon cam, you saw it just before we took that break there. Our balloon cam is operational. It is in one of the Wells Fargo standard teardrop-shaped balloons. And is that the balloon cam or Sky 7? Is Sky 7 flying lower, or is that the balloon? That's balloon cam. There you go. The balloon cam is, as I mentioned, is in one of the Wells Fargo balloons, and I'm trying to find out where they're all heading north, but I'm trying. Oh, there it is. Okay. Not far from the cathedral. There's 2 or 3 of the Wells Fargo balloons, and we are in one of those.
Wow.
And we are giving you a live shot from a balloon.
And we're back now looking at the Flying Cathedral from Switzerland. It's been kind of fun this morning because we've watched a lot of these balloons start, completely deflated, and then, watch them as they inflate, and then it takes a little while, and then they deflate again, inflate, and then boom, they're up in the sky.
So I guess people are a little bit jittery about flying. Shelley Rabando, she would probably want to fly next to the Flying Cathedral. A little bit of help.
Maybe just a little bit. I think, it'd probably be a little bit different
Is that luck of the Irish there? There was a little bit of luck of the Irish there, a little shamrock on the side of a balloon. There's our Flying Cathedral. And, and actually, our balloon cam is right there in the center of your screen, just left of the Flying Cathedral. That's the balloon our camera's in.
Now,
so I'm a technical ignorant. We can actually do live shots from a balloon. That's no cords.
Isn't that, yeah. Back in the day, right, Doug? And that's all they had.
Film, black and white TV.
No, but it's really great is not only do we have Sky 7, which we're looking at a live shot from Sky 7 right now, Balloon Fiesta Park, we've got the camera in the balloon, like you said.
That's a balloon cam shot right there.
Right here.
Right. And you can see there's the shot of Balloon Fiesta Park, the grounds, the 72-plus acres grass field. And there it is right there.
We have the shots as well from the ground, from here. So, I mean, you're seeing this event from every vantage point possible.
This looks like a racetrack.
This is beautiful. It does.
People are racing around to see all the excitement. There's a nice shot. It'd be all way off. That is far off into the north because right now the balloons they're almost flying due north, but a little bit northwest. But right now everybody's looking to the north.
And then if we can try to get a shot, there is another special shaped balloon inflating behind us, the Eagle from Lawrenceville, Illinois. I don't know.
That one right there on your screen, first of all, that's the Koshari Gallup balloon. That's from Gallup. The pilot is Peter Procopio, and that's from Gallup. There's the Eagle balloon that Shelley was talking about.
There's the Eagle from Illinois. And that's actually inflated pretty quickly. We'll probably see that fly appropriately in just a moment.
See, we talk appropriately is right. We talk about everybody enjoying the special shapes, but I think we kind of sound like kids ourselves when the special shapes.
We do. It's funny. We have a whole list and pictures of. There's a bee.
There's the bee.
I
can't tell if it's blue or red. It's either Joey or Lily.
Of the bumblebee. It's true. We have a picture. We have pictures of all these too in front of us. And we're waiting to see the next one inflate. I mean, it really.
And again, for those of you who there's the Flying Cathedral. Okay. And for those of you who are familiar or not familiar with the bees, Joey Little Bee and Lily Little Bee, they basically inflate side by side. And they're both inflated. I can see now. I couldn't tell from our camera, but as I look off to the northwest, they're side by side. And what they do is, for those of you who don't know, they inflate and they take off and they hold hands. Sometimes they rotate them together and they kiss a little bit and then they go their separate ways.
Oh, isn't that great? Now, imagine what it takes to do that. We talked about all the people that it takes to
go their separate ways?
No, stay focused, Doug. No, but really, we've talked about all the crews and all the people and all the volunteers it takes to make all this happen. And what's really neat for the people of New Mexico, a lot of them can come and volunteer here. And be a part of this big day. And as we've been talking about all morning, this is one of the rare events where you can go right up to the people who are making this happen and help out.
And I remember it was just a few years ago that when the bees were here, they were here, and when you look through the book, and they would show they were from Brazil. Well, now they're not. They're from Arizona. I recall they were for sale. And if I'm not mistaken, they actually, you can see Lily has the breast cancer awareness pin on. See, there's a shot from Sky 7. Look, she's got the
That's a great shot. A great shot.
And they sold, one of them sold the first morning, I believe. I don't recall which one. And maybe the person bought both. I don't recall. But I know the first morning they were for sale, one of them went. Bang, first morning, sold it.
It looks like they're almost ready to take off there.
They take quite a bit. I would have to say they're about halfway ready because those are some big balloons. And, you know, we talk about the cheer with Arabelle. We talk about the cheer with Center Stage and some of the other special shapes.
There's the strawberry.
That is
another special shape.
Lily and Joey really, really draw a crowd, and the people love it, and the kids love it when they take off.
The strawberry you're looking at here, this special shape coming to us from Germany.
I'd like to be in a balloon called Hijack. Hijack's not on your screen, but that's a special shape balloon. It's fun. So the names are cute, clever, funny.
Well, there's so many special shapes, and they look so neat when they launch into the sky there. And there's the eagle we mentioned earlier from Illinois. There's 8 new ones this year. Now, educate me. Are there new ones every year? How many typically? Are there about 10?
They're such crowd favorites. I mean, they work hard. And again, as I've mentioned before, a lot of these special shapes balloons come from South America. They're real popular, and Europe, of course.
It looks like right below the eagle.
Is that Gusty Guppy?
Is that Gusty Guppy from Mahwah, New Jersey? It looks like it is. Gusty Guppy. Now, I can't even tell if it's in the air or not, or it's just fully inflated and ready to go.
Well, let me take...
Let's see. Let's look behind us.
It's close.
Almost.
The carousel, which is another favorite, is inflating very close to that as well. There's the carousel to the right that looks like the eagle just about a few feet to the right. That's the top of the carousel. Looks like a standard balloon, but there's the eagle, Gusty Guppy. There's the carousel on the very bottom of your screen leaving. And then there is the witch coming out of the side. You know, that has been here, I think, every year. And I want to say her name's Broomhilda. No, Sarah the Witch. Sarah the Witch. That one is
Alamogordo, New Mexico.
Alamogordo. Yeah, that one.
We've had so many local balloons as well. You know, there's balloons here from 24 different countries, 42 states from around the U.S., and many we've showed you from Albuquerque, Alamogordo, Gallup, so a lot of local ties as well.
You can see all the kids down there. This is also about the time that you start to see kids sleeping with their folks.
That sounds good. We're going to send it over. Our own Bob Brown is on the ground with all the folks enjoying the day. Let's send it over to him and see what he's looking at right now.
Well, yeah, they said they were like streaming. There's Flounder.
All right, we did that layer thing. We took the jacket off, and we're over here next to the Twin Bees. They're just about to inflate, so that should be exciting. And we got us another guest here today, Clint. He moved here from Colorado just for the Balloon Fiesta, right?
No.
All right, so this is your second year. You had to come back, right?
Yep.
Tell me about your thoughts when you stand down here on the balloon field and you see these things taking off.
Oh, it's just awesome because there's just like so many of them, like a couple hundred. So it's really cool to see, and you're really close to them too.
Yeah, you told your buddies about it too, huh?
Yep.
So you guys are having a good time?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's get back to it, because I know you want to see those Twin Bees take off, don't you?
Yeah.
All right, Twin Bees inflating. They should be taking off any minute. Again, it looks like another wave. We got the bald eagle getting ready to come this way, so that should be really cool. Back to you guys.
And there you saw. Let's go back to that shot we had just a second ago. That Smokey Bear was taking off. Of course, it was a few years ago. I believe it was 05. Yes, it was 05 when Smokey Bear had that unfortunate incident with the radio towers off to the west. But as you can see, and I think Smokey came back the very, very next year. That's Bill Chappell is the pilot from Albuquerque. And that's also a very big crowd favorite. I think it was it this year or last year was the 50th anniversary of Smokey Bear.
Yeah.
So that's obviously going to be it's always a crowd favorite, but maybe this year more so than in recent memory. But Smokey is taken. There's Sarah.
You were looking for the witch.
Sarah the Witch from Alamogordo, yeah.
Another local balloon.
Bill Butler is the pilot on board.
Boy, that's a good one just in time for Halloween.
You want to be a flying witch? There you go.
Yeah.
There's Smokey Bear, and there's the bees on the bottom, just the very bottom left of your screen, Joey and Lily.
And then right below at the bottom, you see those yellow and black stripes. That's the belly of the bees.
The belly of the bees.
The belly of the bees. Our own Bob Brown was just over there
bees,
early.
hornets, wasps. Good thing they don't have actual stingers. There's a nice shot of all the balloons.
Wow.
Obviously toward the north and the northwest, because that is the way they are taking off today. That's the way the box is operating. And they're flying. Hopefully they'll be able to get in maybe an hour and 45 to 2 hours. We saw Arabelle a short time ago. Arabelle was up for about an hour. There's the Pepsi balloon, the State Farm balloon there as well. And maybe they'll be able to fly there 2 hours, we hope today, because the conditions, the weather is absolutely beautiful.
It is just perfect. It's just a great morning. And even when we first started out early this morning, it really wasn't that cold. I think a lot of people were surprised. You come prepared, but then it's been great. And it's been great, most importantly, for the conditions to get these balloons up in the air.
Speaking of preparation.
Yes.
You have a goodie bag of, scarves, gloves?
I rarely...
What do they call them? Mufflers?
Earmuffs.
Earmuffs. I mean, jackets. I mean,
all right. I think most people we work with know I seldom would take your advice. However, when you said I was going to be very cold today at Balloon Fiesta Park, and everyone knows around here that you have to come prepared, I thought I'm going to plan ahead because I don't want to be cold. You have to talk for a couple hours, So I came prepared and luckily didn't need any of it. So
that's good.
Yeah,
well, there's a splash and dash from our balloon cam.
Mm-hmm.
I think is there a way we can convince Jose in our balloon cam do his own splash and dash? Maybe we can film that. That'd be that's a beautiful shot there. There's about 7 or 8 balloons right there down the Rio Grande making that attempt at the splash and dash. That's just beautiful.
That shot right there is honestly one of those shots you see in a painting or a
postcard.
picture around some of the beautiful stores around New Mexico. That is just absolutely amazing. That is great.
Is that Bumpy? Is that Bumpy down there giving it a shot too? Yeah, that's
You've liked Bumpy. You've been following Bumpy all day. That's been your balloon.
There's another beautiful shot from the ground. What we're going to do now is we're going to let you enjoy the balloons with some of the music because that's why we're here. We're here to show you the balloons. We're going to let you watch those balloons, and we'll be back in just a few moments. Good morning.
Now, from Action 7 News, coverage you can count on. This is Balloon Fiesta 2008.
And welcome back. We are in our second hour of coverage, and we are just having a blast out here showing you all the beautiful sights of Balloon Fiesta Park this morning.
And there's some of the splash and dashes taking part. Look at this balloon cam widens out. Look at all of those balloons up there right now.
You know, to the middle of the screen there, that's the strawberry that we showed people from earlier. The people flying that balloon are from Germany. You know, we've seen so many balloons today, and we've talked about how they're from all over the world. They come right here to New Mexico.
You know, we're talking about 20-something plus countries and 40-something states. You know, you talk about the growth of Balloon Fiesta. Right now they're at about, I think it's 600 plus balloons, but you know, way back, this is the 37th annual Balloon Fiesta, but 30 years ago, back in 1978, there were 278 balloons. It was held at Sims Field. Anybody remember where that is? By I-25 and Jefferson.
That was 30 years, 1978. 1972, it was held at Coronado Mall location.
Of course. 20 years ago, as we go through the history books, wow, talk about growth. From 1978 to 1988, 600 balloons. It more than doubled in size in those 10 years.
Wow.
And they had only 10 special, you talk about the popularity, the growth, how much people love. There were 10 special shapes in 1988.
Wow, 10 special, and now there's 8 new shapes this year, but that's
alone.
Added to all the special shapes that there are. We've been showing you so many of them
right inside the
this
basket
morning.
there's the crew inside Balloon. Oh, okay, we just got Jose working around there, but that was him kind of maneuvering around the gondola there.
Now this is neat. Here's what our balloon cam, Jose, one of our employees, is up in the balloon cam, which is so neat. He's got a camera in a balloon. That's what it is. And he's getting tons of cool shots for us. Right now we are looking at the ladybug.
The ladybug.
And the ladybug, is a new shape this year. See, I studied my new shapes. It was all about the new shapes. The ladybug is coming in from Highlands Ranch, Colorado. This is a really neat one. It almost appears as if she is hanging over all of Albuquerque, doesn't it?
She's sitting on a flower, a daisy?
It looks like it. Yeah, a little flower. Okay,
There's
here
Sarah
now.
the witch.
There's your witch. You were looking for her earlier. And this is Sarah the witch.
Sarah the witch. Oh, there's one of the favorites too.
Oh.
The kids love the dragon.
The blue dragon. The blue dragon.
That's
Azul.
From Bosque Farms.
Yeah, another
local.
New Mexico.
Another local.
Yeah. We've had a handful of them today.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, we talk about all the states represented. Obviously, far and above the biggest representation. That's Asimo. That's from Honda. That's one of the special shapes balloons. But obviously, hundreds of balloons probably. 100, 200 balloons are from New Mexico, obviously. This is the ballooning capital of the world. We're proud to say that, and we're going to keep it that way, and this is why. I mean, a lot of balloons come from here. A lot of balloons come from all over the country because this is the biggest balloon fiesta in the world.
In the entire world. And it's really neat when you talk to people about it and they think, oh, you live in Albuquerque? That's where they have that big balloon thing every year.
You know, we talk a lot about the participation, what you can do here. You can't do that at every balloon fiesta. I know they have them in Plano, Texas. They have them in Colorado. The extent to which you can participate is not even remotely close to what it is here. And
I know
you can see
firsthand.
The bees are getting. There's Joey and Lily. They're starting to. They're standing. Look at that. Look at how fast the end of the inflation process is. Look at that.
This is
I mean,
great.
it's like choreographed. They're in unison. They're side by side.
Now that takes skill.
And it's got the little antennas that go up there, kind of like the tower on the Flying Cathedral. Always the last. There it goes.
And now, as you've explained, I guess every year they launch together, holding hands, and then sometimes they actually kiss when they're in the sky.
Yeah, sometimes they'll turn.
That is great. I mean, we watched so many of these balloons inflate today. We've talked about how much it takes to get them inflated. Imagine having to do this simultaneously. Not easy.
It's a little dance. They do their little dance, I call it.
We see the fuel.
The burners are going. His burner, he's
any minute now.
Yeah, that's going to be, again, like Arabelle, like Center Stage, you'll hear the roar, you'll hear it on TV, and that's when those two are going to be taking off. And as I mentioned earlier, they were brought here years back from Brazil, and I think they now both call Arizona home.
Definitely Joey Littlebees from Arizona, and Lily.
Another person from Arizona, 2 different owners, but yeah, they both live together in Arizona now.
Just in nearby Arizona.
There's Azul again.
Another great shot of the dragon. Bosque Farms, New Mexico. Just like we had one from Alamogordo, Gallup, a few from Albuquerque. Some really great balloons.
Where's my friends from Roswell, the aliens? I haven't seen them yet, but they could be up flying. Who knows?
We'll keep an eye on that for you.
Maybe they're way up there looking down. There's a shot from Sky 7. Beautiful look down at the Rio Grande and all the balloons. We talk about the kaleidoscope of colors. When the colors look so unique and so so pretty when the backdrop is the beautiful blue sky of New Mexico. But when you look down, the beautiful green, the trees, everything around the Rio Grande, it looks just as beautiful looking that direction as well.
You can see why so many pictures that are taken here at this event each year become part of, wall paintings and pictures.
I bet the 1 hour processing people love in the area.
They're going to make a lot of money next week.
This weekend, next weekend, and when these people all go home after they've enjoyed their Balloon Fiesta experience, say, "Can I have these in an hour?" Mm-hmm. Why? What are they? Balloon
Another
Fiesta.
album. There's the bees. They're still standing there.
Yeah, she's a little ahead of him. It looks. She's got one of her little antennas up, and he's just kind of lollygagging.
Okay, so yeah, they still need to get the one antenna up. We watched this happen earlier with that flying cathedral. It was inflated, then it wasn't, then it wasn't, then it wasn't.
Spire went up,
right.
but down, but the cathedral was finally able to take off.
There are about 1,000 Balloon Fiesta volunteers. Think about that, 1,000 people who come out, most of them local folks, who
get up very early.
We think we were up early. The volunteers from around New Mexico, now they truly were up early working hard, but they're also getting to enjoy such a neat thing that so many people don't get to do. You were mentioning other Balloon Fiestas that don't even come remotely close to this one in comparison, but you're not allowed to get up close and personal.
I mean, it's truly a sport. I mean, so many people looking one direction.
Everybody.
They're either looking at the field or up. So basically two directions, either straight out or straight up.
You see everybody bumping into one another because no one's paying attention to where they're going, understandably.
It's like, oh, look at that is probably number one, and excuse me is probably number two as far as sayings go in Fiesta Park.
And then in the background there, it looks like we have the black and white balloon.
That's the one.
That's way up already.
That's the Gallop balloon, yeah.
Gallop balloon.
And either it's just coming off of its splash and dash, or it's maybe going to go drop down and attempt it.
And that's a neat one because that has a unique face to it.
Native American flavor.
Yes.
And again, that's from Gallop. Peter Procopio is the pilot.
Good colors. Yeah, it's beautiful. We haven't seen the frog yet. I remember that from. We're keeping it.
Or the Arky. I haven't seen Arky yet either. The eagle is properly perched, but it hasn't taken off yet. So the last few dozen balloons get ready to take off, including the bees. We're going to set to some music right now and let you enjoy that. So enjoy New Mexico, the 37th annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. And as I say that, Joey's legs have just left the ground. I don't know if he has.
Joey the bee.
Good morning and welcome back to our live coverage. 2 hours of live coverage of the 37th Annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta.
We've been showing you all sorts of great pictures from around Balloon Fiesta Park today, and one of our really neat vantage points for you is from our balloon cam. Jose is up there, our photographer Jose, up there right now getting some really cool shots for you this morning.
Some of the special shapes balloons that have taken off since we were with you last. Azul, the Dragon, the Bees took off. Both of them. The Honda balloon took off. The new balloon, there's the Bees right there. They've separated. They're going their separate ways. And then the new balloon, the little car, and then there's Nellie B. So a lot of special shapes balloons have taken off since we were with you last. Oh, the Eagle, sorry, the Eagle has landed. Never took off.
Yeah, you'd think the Eagle would have the easiest time flying, you know?
Yeah, the most experience probably, but no. Eagle's already begun the deflation process.
So for whatever reason, it just wasn't a good day for the Eagle.
Yeah. But boy, it's interesting. I mean, yeah, that's shot right there. We're looking out to the north and the northwest, which is exactly the direction that I'm looking, and you can just see balloon after balloon after. I mean, look at the one way, way out there. I mean, that's got to be past Rio Rancho out there. One balloon is just kind of taken off there, soared out. But I mean, I could literally see 50-plus balloons right there.
You know, it's funny. About an hour ago, as we showed you Balloon Fiesta Park, there were so many of the balloons just, you know, inflating, and it looked like you could hardly see the sky. All you could see was the balloons, you know, right on the ground. But now as we look around us, many of those balloons are now finally launched and up in the air, and it doesn't look like many of them had a problem at all.
No, it doesn't. Most of the balloons, I mean, I can't, other than the Eagle, it's the only one I really know of that inflated and just kind of stayed. Oh, look, they found my favorite. There it is. They flew up from Roswell.
You've been waiting for that all day. They found it for you.
The aliens have arrived, yeah. And now I can see it. There it is, way out to the north. There's Balloon Cam catching my alien buddies.
Your Balloon Fiesta year is made.
2002, the first time I covered Balloon Fiesta.
Okay.
And that was the first crew I found out here in the darkness of about 5 a.m. And they were a great group.
So I'm sure you can agree. 7 years you've been covering this, so you know the feel as soon as you get out here. I mean, everyone is so pumped. There's so much energy. It is so fun to be here. I mean, it's great that we can bring it to people at home who, let's face it, we're jealous. They're still in their pajamas this morning, too.
They're enjoying their coffee and their tea and their chocolate from the comfort of their own home.
That's right.
One thing I did not hear, I know Dominic was talking about the traffic coming in, how it was a little bit slow, but it seemed to be moving a lot smoother, and I think that's because a lot more people took advantage of the park and ride, which is very, very important. You know, another very important part of an historical aspect of Balloon Fiesta is the gas balloon race. That launches tonight at 6 p.m. And for those of you who know or don't know, I mean, basically what that is, the crews take off and they fly as far as they possibly can. Doesn't matter how fast you get there, it's how far. And right now there are 5 teams, 5 crews. Of course, Richard Abruzzo from here in Albuquerque, Carol Reimer Davis, his longtime ballooning partner, is going to be up there with him. Troy Bradley, Jonathan Trapp, William McNutt, Philip Bryant, Mark Sullivan, Sherry White, John Wallace, and Kevin Brielman. Only 5 teams this year, and you can actually track. This is a very popular race. You can actually track this at balloonfiesta.com. You can track where the teams are. And I remember it was just a few years ago, I believe it was 03 or 04, Richard was flying with, I believe it was former Governor Gary Johnson. It was, but I'm not sure of the year, but they were flying together, and they took off in the Gas Challenge balloon race, and they flew basically as far as they possibly could fly. They were, I want to say Delaware or Rhode Island. I think it was Rhode Island. They had to set it down. They weren't going over the Atlantic Ocean. And they set it down, and they had the Zia flag on the side. They had, of course, learned later that they had won. And the gentleman's home that they sat it down in was either a former resident of New Mexico who had just moved there or was a part-time. So here, this balloon lands in his yard, and the man who was the governor of the state when he lived here, Gary Johnson, jumps out of the balloon.
What are the chances? I mean, you couldn't have written that any better.
Yeah.
And again, like you had said, it's not about the fastest, it's about the farthest.
That's right. It's how far you go. And last year, I don't recall the last time they got to the Eastern Seaboard. Maybe that was it. I don't know. But last year they did not get very. Matter of fact, a lot of the teams kind of bailed out early, if you will.
And again, that takes place later tonight.
Takes place later tonight. I know last year, the year before, they'd take off a day or so later. But it's right now, weather permitting, and it seems like Mother Nature is cooperating, that the Gas Challenge balloon race will launch at 6 with the inflation process beginning at 2 for the spectators out here at Balloon Fiesta Park.
We're going to let you take in some more of the sights right now as you listen to some music. And welcome back. We were just looking at a live shot from our balloon cam of the Ladybug, which is one of our new special shapes this year from Colorado.
And then there's another, right there. Okay, I understand we have to go right back to a break, so we'll be right back. Good morning and welcome back. There you're looking at a live shot through our balloon cam of some of the balloons that have actually ended their beautiful, approximately 2-hour flight here at the 37th Annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta.
That's right. They were inflated and launched right here from Balloon Fiesta Park. And as you said, many of them find a landing. And
most of them are heading
crews
north
who follow
and
that.
north and northwest, which means Sandoval County. And Dominic is done covering the traffic because they're already inside, and now he's out chasing the crews. Who'd you find, Dominic?
Well, our travels took us all the way up north to Sandoval County, and we just got one that landed. This is the CNN balloon. And what they're doing right now is something really cool called tethering. Well, they'll hold it down from the ground and let kids get in and take some rides. And we got 2 kids right here who got to go on one of those rides, and this is Gabriel. And I'm going to ask you first, was it fun?
Yeah.
What was your favorite part?
Well, when we went waving to the people.
Did you go high?
Yeah, really high.
Really? And this is his sister Jaslyn. Was it a lot of fun?
Yeah.
Okay, and what was your favorite part?
Getting to go up and see all the balloons.
Cool, cool. And so it's like we said, this is called tethering. So a lot of kids waiting in line right now to get some rides. And thank you guys for talking to us. We appreciate it. So it's really nice to see that even after the balloons land, some people are still getting to enjoy it.
All right, Dominic. Why don't you go jump in there and take a little ride?
Yeah, I'm going to try and get a ride.
I think Dominic met some young future balloonists in the making. What do you
take
think?
the tethering off for Dominic, though. He's got to follow. Darth
There's a
has
favorite.
landed. He's landed. That's one of the Special Shapes balloon favorites out here.
It is. We saw it earlier, right around,
It's about
7:30.
Maybe about an hour and a half
It
flight.
launched.
It was able to enjoy for 90 minutes approximately. And right now, as I'm looking at the Balloon Fiesta grounds, there is one balloon just inflating. It's not going to be taking off. But I believe the Mass Ascension, as far as the standard teardrops, and I think I know it's about over because folks are leaving. They're starting to get in the park and ride. But, I mean, we had 600-plus balloons here, 20 or so plus. Well, more than that, Special Shapes. Virtually every one of them took off. So it's been a beautiful first morning here.
It has been fabulous weather. If we could have every day the Balloon Fiesta be this perfect.
And
And doesn't that
cotton
look good? I think he's making me hungry. We were just saying earlier, there's so many great smells as we're sitting here the last 2 hours. Wouldn't you agree there, Doug? Getting hungry?
And out there amongst the crowd was Bob. Bob's joining us up here on the set here. What was it like out there, Bob?
It's pretty cool. You know, I was telling you at the beginning how, you know, we get to go to a lot of sporting events in my position. You get to be pretty much up close. But out there, you know, everybody's got a front row seat.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was really neat. And it's fun to see how the waves go off. But, you know, we talk about the waves of balloons taking off. It's like a parting of the seas out there. Because when those balloons inflate, everybody kind of takes a big, deep breath. And they all step back as it starts to come up. And then as it takes off, I don't know if you could hear it, you know, on TV or through the microphones out there, but you know, everybody a big round of applause, and
And they step back to the next balloon, to the next wave, to the next line. They just keep sliding right on down.
Know, you talk about all the different shapes and sizes, and all the different ages of people out there. I mean, I was talking to a little girl, 7 years old. She was in Albuquerque. She'd been to the Balloon Fiesta before, and she just loved it. And you know, seeing the young parents and their kids.
You know, right now we're looking at Great Expectations, another balloon from right here in Albuquerque.
Steve Comedina's balloon. Yeah, it's always a very popular balloon. Great Expectations. Yeah.
That is a fabulous
Stork
balloon.
bursting through.
And you know what? It's one of the last balloons, it looks like, to launch this morning. Because as we look out into the park, it looks like most of them they're all up in the sky. And that one is pretty much the last one to go.
You know, you out there on the field, you hear everybody go, "Oh, the dinosaur, that's my favorite."
Right, everybody
the
has
twin
a
bees.
favorite.
No, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that one. That one's cool. No, that one's really neat.
Did you notice when you were out there among the people, I noticed this last year, when you go up to the balloon and you watch them inflating them, you start talking to the people who actually came from wherever. You know, they start talking to you about their balloon and where it came from, and it's so neat. You're just a part of the whole thing.
It really is, and you know, and when you've been here and you've seen it, you know, you're kind of used to it. You see it. That's why I wanted to ask people what their reaction is when they're actually standing there watching the balloons take off and just floating overhead. You feel like you can just reach out there and grab them
and touch it, right?
Yeah, and you know the flame when they shoot it off.
Burners,
you hear those burners go off, and it's exciting out there. I don't know how you guys do it up here on the set. I know, but out there it's really neat.
Yeah, the spectators are all a part of it. I know. I miss it from last year.
Yeah.
We're gonna go run out there when this is all over to talk to the folks. This has been a great first year.
Yeah, we've enjoyed being part of your Saturday morning here and covering the first day of the 37th Annual Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. We hope you've enjoyed our 2 hours of live coverage. Tomorrow morning, Mike Garofalo and Melissa Mahan will be sitting here.
That's right, and then we'll be
Bob,
back with
not
everyone
Bob?
next Saturday. We'll be back. We'll be back
Okay.
bright and early to join you. Thanks for joining us so much. Have a good afternoon.
Enjoy the rest of your day.